This is not just a story of gods and angels. It is a story about you. Before time was a river, before light was a concept, there was only the void, an infinite, formless, silent expanse. The Greeks called it chaos. Not chaos in the sense of disorder, but as a vast, empty potential, a cosmic womb waiting for the first breath of existence. Imagine it, a stillness so profound it hums with the energy of everything that could be. And from this boundless mystery, the first stirrings of life began. A consciousness awoke. A presence began to take shape, pulling substance from the nothingness, weaving a form from the formless. This was the birth of Gaia, the earth. She was not merely rock and soil. She was a living, breathing entity, a primordial mother whose very essence was creation. As she stretched her nascent form, she felt a profound loneliness in the vast emptiness of chaos. And so, from her own being, she birthed companions. She dreamed of peaks that would pierce the void, and the great mountains rose, their stony ribs forming the skeleton of the world. She longed for depths to mirror the endless dark, and the boundless, churning sea, Pontus, was born. But her greatest creation was born of a deep, longing sigh for a counterpart, a canopy to embrace her. With a gentle exhalation, she created Uranus, the sky, a vast, starry dome that arched over her, a perfect and majestic partner. Gaia, the mother of all, looked upon her creations with love. The world was her body, and the life that teemed upon it was her joy. She was the firm ground beneath your feet, the whisper of the wind through the leaves, the deep, resonant pulse of the planet itself. She and Uranus, the earth and the sky, were locked in a constant, loving embrace. Their union was fruitful, a cosmic dance of creation that populated the nascent world. From this union came the first divine beings of immense power, the 12 Titans, giants of incredible strength and presence, 6 sons and 6 daughters, each a force of nature in their own right. Oceanus of the World River, Hyperion of the Celestial Light, Rhea the Queen of Gods, and the youngest, most cunning of them all, Cronus. Gaia delighted in her children. They were her flesh and blood, extensions of her creative spirit. But Uranus, the sky, looked upon them with fear and jealousy. He saw their immense power not as a gift, but as a threat to his own dominion. He could not bear the thought of being surpassed, and so, in an act of profound cruelty, Uranus refused to let his children see the light. As each Titan was born, he would force them back into the deep, dark womb of Gaia. He imprisoned them within her very body, in the cavernous depths known as Tartarus. Imagine the anguish of a mother forced to contain the children she longed to hold. Gaia's body, the very earth, groaned in agony. The pressure of her imprisoned children caused mountains to tremble and the ground to shake. Her joy turned to sorrow, her love to a simmering rage. Her partner, the sky she had created with such longing, had become her tormentor, her jailer. The loving embrace had become a suffocating prison. Day after day, she pleaded with Uranus, but his heart was as hard as the cosmos was vast. He would not relent. Finally, her suffering became unbearable. She could no longer endure the pain of her own body being a cage for her children. In the deep, hidden places of the earth, Gaia forged a new element, a hard, glittering metal. From it, she fashioned a great, unyielding sickle, a tool of harvest and of severance. She then gathered her imprisoned sons, her voice a low, desperate whisper in the darkness. She spoke of their father's tyranny, of her unending pain, and of a future where they could be free, where they could walk in the light upon her surface. She offered them the sickle and a plan for liberation. Most of the Titans recoiled in fear. To rise against Uranus, their father, the absolute ruler of the cosmos, was unthinkable. But one, the youngest and most ambitious, Cronus, stepped forward. He felt his mother's pain as his own, and his heart burned with resentment for the dark prison he had always known. He took the great sickle from her hand, his resolve as hard as the blade itself. That night, as Uranus descended to embrace Gaia, Cronus lay in wait. In a swift, terrible act, he rose up and struck his father, castrating him and severing the eternal bond between earth and sky. The reign of Uranus was over. The Titans were freed from their subterranean prison, and a new age dawned. Cronus, the liberator, became the new king of the cosmos. But this is where the myth deepens, where it ceases to be just a tale of gods and becomes a mirror for ourselves. This story is not merely ancient history. It is a living metaphor for the fundamental forces that shape our world and our own lives. Think of chaos, the void. Is it not the infinite potential that exists before any great idea, any creative act? It is the blank canvas, the silent room, the empty page where anything is possible. And Gaia's emergence is the very act of creation itself, the will to bring order from chaos, to give form to the formless. This is the artist, the inventor, the parent, the leader. It is the fundamental human drive to build, to nurture, to make something where there was nothing. The union of Gaia and Uranus, earth and sky, is the dance of duality. Masculine and feminine, matter and spirit, the grounded and the transcendent. Their initial harmony represents a perfect balance, a golden age of creation. But Uranus's fear and tyranny represent a different, darker force. The fear of change, the desire to cling to power at all costs. He is the embodiment of the old order that resists the new, the parent who cannot let their child grow, the system that stifles innovation for fear of being replaced. Gaia's pain and rebellion are the inevitable response to oppression. She is the revolutionary spirit that rises when creativity is suppressed, when freedom is denied. Her act of plotting with Cronus is a powerful symbol of how the oppressed will always seek liberation, often using the children of the old order to overthrow it. Cronus, in turn, represents the next generation, filled with ambition and resentment, destined to seize power. This cycle, creation, suppression, rebellion, and the transfer of power, is not just a myth. It's the story of empires rising and falling, of scientific revolutions, of family dynamics, of your own personal struggles to break free from old patterns and forge a new identity. The story repeats. Cronus, who overthrew his father for his cruelty, would become just as tyrannical, swallowing his own children to prevent the same fate. And he, in turn, would be overthrown by his son, Zeus. The cycle continues. It is the great turning wheel of existence. So, look within. These forces are not distant, mythological concepts. They are alive inside of you. There is a Gaia within you, the part that yearns to create, to nurture, to build a world of beauty and meaning. There is also a Uranus, the part that fears change, that clings to control, that sometimes suppresses its own children. Our new ideas, our vulnerabilities out of fear. There is a Cronus in you, the rebellious energy that seeks to overthrow old limitations and claim its own power. The struggle between chaos and order, creation and destruction, love and fear, is not a battle of the gods fought in the heavens. It is fought every day within the landscape of the human heart. It is your story. What part of you are you feeding today? The creator, the tyrant, the revolutionary. The myth of Gaia reminds us that we contain all of it. We are the earth, the sky, the conflict, and the resolution. We are the children of chaos, forever striving to create order, forever rebelling to create a newer, better one. This is our divine inheritance. This is our human story. We will continue to explore these epic tales of our own origins, so remember to join us for more.